Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today is the weekly highlight. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. So over the past week we've had a load of new things been happening, and let's go over some of the most notable things moving forward. That being the case, let's start off with the latest things happening to corruptions. Now, the first thing is a corruption increase to 59. This is on your legendary cloak, and now it is available in order to actually get. You can obtain this by actually getting the Malfic core, and once you have that, all you have to do is use that on your legendary cloak. This can have a corruption resistance increase up to 59. This is brilliant in order for running Nunzoth and also doing your horrific visions, and going forward that will actually be kind of handy. Now the way in which you actually go about this is two different types of ways. Is by killing Nunzoth on normal, heroic and mythic. LFR is not included in this. This is how you get hold of the Malfic core, and then you can then upgrade your legendary cloak. The way in which you actually get a hold of this is by completing your 4 objectives for the week, and also taking out the Horrific Visions boss, and that shall reward you also with a Malfic core. That means that you have 2 ways. If you're not a raider, you have a way in which you can actually get a hold of this, and also if you are a raider, you should easily get a hold of the Malfic core for your legendary cloak. So from that, let's get on to Shadowlands. Now there has been a load of new things happening about Shadowlands, and it has popped up all over the place on like AC Veins and Wowhead and all that jazz. Now the first thing that's actually happened on the Shadowlands alpha at this moment in time is the Hunter stables has now been increased. Originally in BFA for hunters, you are allowed to actually have 65 slots in order to keep your pets. This has been increased to a maximum of 75 on the alpha. Remember that things are subject to change, so this could very well increase or decrease, but at this moment in time we're looking at hunters having an extra 10 slots for their stables. This seems to be quite a nice little perk going forward into Shadowlands, because then loads of hunters are able to have different types of pets. And to be honest, a lot of hunters actually do go out and try and get loads of different types of pets in order to actually play with or have for cosmetic reasons, and that is pretty damn good, because that's 10 extra different types of pets that you can now gain. The next thing of note is class changes. Now for instance, Frost Death Knights, Windwalker Monks and Brewmaster Monks will now have the option in order to choose dual wielding 2 one-handed weapons or a 1 two-handed weapon. This should be quite a nice little uptick for Frost Death Knights, Windwalker Monks and Brewmaster Monks. So that's pretty damn awesome, to be honest. I actually play a Frost Death Knight, so that's actually kind of handy in order to do things, because then I can have 2 one-handed weapons on my Frost Death Knight, and then I can then switch it up. Now I can switch this up, and this will be actually quite a lot easier when I'm actually playing with my Frost Death Knight. This is, for obvious reasons, this is the alpha, so things are subject to change. So we could actually see another class being added, and some people have been speculating that it could be the Fury Warrior. Aside from that, let's move on to the next update for Shadowlands Alpha. We are now seeing a return to Warlock curses, and there are 4 notable curses that will be implemented within Shadowlands. This is the Curse of Tongues, the Curse of Recklessness, the Curse of Weakness, and the Curse of Doom. This should be quite nice for most Warlock players. I myself do not play a Warlock, but at the end of the day, this should be a nice return to some old different types of curses. So now Warlocks can actually play Affliction a bit more awesomely and have more variance when they're actually just dotting you with different things. So this should be a nice little uptick for Warlocks. Now moving on to leveling changes within Shadowlands, Demon Hunters, Death Knights and allied races will now be able to start off at level 10. Originally Demon Hunters will start off at level 100, Death Knights will be finishing at level 58, and also the allied races, whether you choose to pick this option, will be starting at level 20. Now aside from that, that means that if you do want a Demon Hunter, my only recommendation for this is do it now, as what will happen is if they're going to be starting at level 10, if you start them create your Demon Hunter now and they finish their questing zone and they're at level 100, that means that your Demon Hunter will then be slightly higher in level when you actually do decide to go ahead and start leveling them. This will give them a nice little boost ahead than all of the other Demon Hunters if you don't do this before Shadowlands. Aside from that, with Death Knights, I don't see much point in actually just creating one just for the sake of it, as they will only be a few levels higher for that. All of the hero classes and the allied races will be starting off at level 10, so that's still a nice little uptick when it comes to leveling in general, and I do like that idea moving forward. Aside from that, for all of us gold makers and just like easy to use things in general, there has been a new change in Shadowlands Alpha, which is, to be honest, is my highlight of the week. It is like the best thing in the world, and that is the new mailing system. Well, kind of the new mailing system. It's not actually sending mail. More or less, it actually tells you on your login screen whether or not your character has mail that you have not opened. This is great for gold makers, as you can then see before you even log into your character if they've got mail, and then you can then grab hold of that mail. So if you're trying to see if you've got sales on your auction house, you don't have to log into the character. It will tell you if you've got sales. And it will tell you also, if you hover over this, whether or not where it's actually coming from. So if one of your friends has sent you mail, or you've got stuff from the auction house that has expired. This is a brilliant ease of use type of thing just in general, and I'm absolutely loving this new change. It's such a small thing, and it actually has made me really happy to see this implemented. Now, aside from that, that is pretty much all I want to talk about today on Shadowlands Alpha and the new updates. Well, there was only one real update for this week for retail at the moment, and that is the corruption increase, so that's not too bad. But aside from that, let's get on to the economy pick of the week. Now, the economy pick of the week is Modest Millions post, and that is about him clearing 300k profit within the week. This is for his Brutosaur challenge, and he managed to do this in a combination of using the dredged leather farm in Najdatar for the rubbery flank, and also crafting old world recipes such as things like enchants and all that jazz. And he has also switched up his skinning and replace that with alchemy moving forward. I see that this is kind of a nice little trend, everyone jumping on alchemy at the moment, and to be honest, this has made the economy pick of the week just because it's about 300k and he's now doing the Brutosaur challenge, and it's another way of showing some love to other gold makers. That being the case, I'm absolutely loving this, and the link will be in the description down below for anything that I have actually talked about. Now, aside from that, the other things for the Shadowlands Alpha I will be going over the next couple of days. That is because there is so much to go over, and I want to do a better job each and every day in order to actually do this. So that being the case, this is the weekly highlight of the things that I think are notable, and then the rest of the next couple of days will be all the other different types of things moving forward. Aside from that, guys, have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow.